We have something coming up in our town that you may have in your town. We have the Zaya Trail Run here. Usually happens close around my birthday in March. It's a rather famous 10K run, and there's also a 5K run. But we have a lot of world championship athletes that actually come run that 10K. But the majority of people that participate in this are beginners that are interested in accomplishing their first 5K. And you may have something like this in your town. And so a lot of people get involved in a beginner's program and beginner running. Also, many people use that as a New Year's resolution that they're actually going to start running or get into doing a 5K. And one of the most popular programs to do is very simple and is fantastic, especially for beginners. And that is the Couch to 5K program today on the Personalized Fitness Podcast.
Welcome to the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast
with Garrett Williamson.
Health, wellness, exercise, nutrition, and a whole lot more. Got questions? Call us and leave a message at 251-278-EDGE or message us at Personal Edge Fitness on Facebook and Instagram, at Team PE on Twitter, or personaledgefitness.com.
Good day and welcome to the Personalized Fitness Podcast. My name is Garrett Williamson. I'm president of Personalized Fitness and the host of the Personalized Fitness Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us today to talk about the Couch to 5K program. Now, if you're interested in more details about this podcast, or if you have any questions about our other podcasts, or if you have an idea or a question dealing with dispelling the myths of health, fitness, and wellness, please reach out to us, area code 251-278-3343. That's 251-278-EDGE. Hit me up on email if you like to contact me that way at Garrett, Garrett, at personalizedfitness.com. Personalizedfitness.com, of course, is our website. Personalized Fitness is our Facebook page. And hit me up on X at Team PE if you are so inclined. This is a popular topic. It's a popular program. It's a favorite of mine. I actually like this. We do some of this. We don't do a whole lot of it, but we've helped a lot of people get into running, and actually a lot of runners really improve their running. But those folks that are out there for their first, that really have that brass ring for them, is completing their first 5K. Now, it's a 5-kilometer race, or 3.1 miles. There's tons of them held all over the country, all over the world for that matter. And there are folks that maintain their fitness and they use their benchmark as doing 5Ks. I have runners that get so excited when the race season begins, and they'll do every 5K, and they'll have a community of runners because they usually do a good run to get a good workout. They know a lot of people there. They may be competitive. They may not be competitive. There's usually some sort of an after party or after celebration, and it's a really good time. But for those that are beginners, it's a major accomplishment. I mean, finishing that first 5K. I mean, the first time that I ever ran for the first time, a Zaya Trail race was actually a 10K race, and at the same time, they had a 2-mile fun run is what they called it. And I'd never done, even though I ran track, and I was actually pole vaulting at that time, but I was not a runner. It sounds kind of crazy. I ran track, but I wasn't a runner. I ran 120 feet. So doing any kind of distance was just unreal to me. And so my mother actually wanted to run the 2-mile fun run. And so we actually started exercising together, and we would do a run in our neighborhood. It was a lot of fun. And then the culmination was we did the 2-mile fun run together. And it was the first time I ever did it. I think we did it a couple of years in a row, and it was a lot of fun. I remember it was a major achievement. Even though I was an athlete, I've been in several athletic events. It was a major achievement to finish that 2-mile fun run. And so I know what it feels like. And I know no matter what age you are, that if that's a goal of yours, I understand that benchmark. But it may seem like a daunting task. You may have not run more than 100 yards continuously. So thinking about running, 3.1 miles, a 5K, that could be a very, very daunting task. And I understand that. Doing this program breaks it down and makes it much easier, much more digestible. And I don't like to talk about a lot of things without providing a study. There have actually been some studies on the Couch to 5K program, as a matter of fact. One study published in the Journal of Sports Science and Medicine. It's a journal I quote quite often. It's one I did a lot of research in when I was getting my master's degree. Researchers found that participants who followed the Couch to 5K program showed significant improvements in their aerobic fitness levels. Their ability to run continuously for 30 minutes or more increased substantially. Another study by my favorite institution, the gold standard, American College of Sport Medicine. They actually wrote the book on fitness. The guidelines to exercise testing and prescription is used in every reputable certification process is done by American College of Sport Medicine. They concluded that beginners who completed the Couch to 5K program experienced not only physical benefits, but also reported improved mental well-being and self-esteem. I slowed that down because you know how much I love the mental side of this. Our mission statement is we make people feel better about being themselves. That's what we want to do for you. That's what this program does. And improved mental well-being and self-esteem, that says it all. That's exactly what we're after. So what is a Couch to 5K program? It's in the title. It's basically taking you from having never run or whatsoever, you just sit on a couch all the time, to actually running a 5K. Yes, that's simple. It's in the name. But there are several different varieties of this program. And we've actually tailored many different programs because, as I've said many times, we have as many different programs as we do clients. And the program is not going to have to only work for your goals. It has to work for your head. It has to work for your lifestyle. It has to work for what you like to do, how you like to train. And so there's as many different ways as there are people to do a Couch to 5K program. I'm going to give you a general one, but like I say, if you want some help in putting your own program together, tailoring one to you to meet, that doesn't sound good to me. I don't like that one. My time schedule won't accommodate that or whatever. Hey, give us a call at area code 251-278-3343. That's 251-278-EDGE. We'd love to set you up with it, and we can actually help you monitor it through our app Pledge, and we'd love to get you signed up on that. So give us a call if we can help you with that. But let's get into it. The easiest one to think about as far as format for doing a Couch to 5K is the walk-run progression. Rarely have I ever seen anybody do anything outside of some adaptation of a walk-run progression. It's very simple. You start with the first week, you're running 1 minute and you're walking 1 minute. When I say running or jogging 1 minute, whatever you can sustain, the pace you can sustain for a minute. And so you're running, jogging 1 minute, walking 1 minute. And then, of course, moving into the second week, jogging 2 minutes, walking 1 minute. And some people will actually do it faster, and then they'll be able to go to the second minute within the third workout. Then 3 minutes on, 1 minute walk, all the way up to 5 minutes of a run and to a 1 minute walk. Then it changes, because what we want to do is we want to start reducing that rest time. We're trying to get you to run for a continuous 30 minutes around that time, if not faster, maybe a little longer, but trying to get you to run continuous so that it changes and that we shorten the rest time. We cut it in half. And by cutting it in half, we actually want to drop the run time a little bit. So by this time, you're at 5 minutes of a run and you're walking for 1 minute. Now we're going to change it. We're going to go back to 3 minutes of a run. So by the time you hit 5 minutes of a run, you should be able to do that 3 minutes pretty easily. 5 minutes may be of a challenge, but 3 minutes, hey, that's actually pretty easy. I got this now. But we're only going to rest for 30 seconds. So it's 3 minutes on, 30 seconds off. 3 minutes on, 30 seconds off. The next week, you'll progress, or some of you may progress faster, but the next week, 4 minutes of a run, 30 seconds of a walk. Keep repeating that. Back up to 5 minutes of a run and 30 seconds of a walk. Now, that run-walk program, you can vary. You can do it in a 10-week program if you want, and actually start off with that 1 minute walk, 1 minute run, 2 minute walk, 2 minute run, and go all the way up to 5 minutes on that walk with 5 minute run, 1 minute walk, and go back down just like that natural progression I told you, 3 minute run, 30 second walk. At the end, once you get down to 5 minutes of a run and 30 seconds of a walk, you may want to go back to that minute walk once you hit 6 minutes and go 6, 7, 8, and walk a minute, and then go back to the 30 seconds. You may vary it a little bit that way if you'd like to. Through that small progression, you should be able to hit your goal. Now, how many days a week? Well, in this kind of program, there's a few different things you need to concern yourself. Obviously, you're going to be running a good bit. I would at least start out by not running every day. At least start out by maybe 3 days a week. And got a day or so in between. Allow your body to do that recovery. And in that recovery time, you'll either have a rest day. You ought to have at least one rest day during the week. And then you might want to throw in some cross training. So let's say you're doing that Couch to 5K program running on a Monday. Well, that Tuesday, you may want to get on an elliptical. Keeping up your cardiovascular, but changing it up. That cross training is highly beneficial. Why? You've probably heard that before. Cross training is fantastic, right? Got to cross train. Why? It's because exercise is like medicine. And you've probably heard that before. Exercise is medicine. If you were to take, when you get a headache, all you needed was one aspirin. I never had a problem with that. But then you start having multiple headaches, and you keep taking just one aspirin for it. Or let's say you only take an aspirin when you have a headache, but now your doctor, because of your heart, they want to put you on a baby aspirin every day for like a blood thinner. And they have you taking a baby aspirin. But now your body is now taking in a baby aspirin, so when you have a headache, it might not take just one aspirin, it may take another one. The reason being, your body gets used to that chemical, and now it takes more. You've got to increase the intensity. It takes more of it to actually handle the headache. Exercise is the same. That's why you end up changing your exercise. Now, some people are keeping the ball in the air. They've got their exercise. They've hit their level of wellness, as we talk about it, and they don't really change their exercises. Well, they're not going to change their body, but they are going to maintain. But if you want to make changes, you've got to keep surprising your body. And that's what cross-training does. If you're running and running and running and running and running and running, well, your body gets used to that, adapts to it, and it doesn't make any more improvements. Well, cross-training, if you run faster, run more often, run harder, whatever, you can increase your speed, you can get better, you can make changes that way. But you're also running into overuse injuries, and you actually can get there faster by hitting your body with a completely different exercise because it's not used to that. It's not going to react the same way. Therefore, you're actually going to make faster improvements. A cross-training athlete is going to get to their goals much faster than somebody that just does their one sport and stays at that sport and stays fixated to that sport, thinks, eats, sleeps, and breathes, and does nothing but that sport. You're going to get faster there by cross-training. That's why I recommend cross-training on those off days and also have that rest day. You need that rest day for your body to repair and recover because you're actually building strength in your legs, you're building strength in your arms, upper body, cardiovascular system, and your body needs time, since you're breaking it down during exercise, to actually repair. So you have to have that rest day. Few things. What will you need for this? Well, most important thing is a comfortable pair of shoes. Go to a reputable athletic shoe dealer. Have them fit you. Have them actually put you, because everybody's foot's different. And just because, well, my friend wears these and they like these, so I'm going to buy those. No, I don't recommend that whatsoever. The reason being is that you're about to do, if you've never done any kind of running before, you're about to put some wear and tear on your feet that you've never done before, and you can create blisters, you can create plantar fasciitis, all kinds of problems with your feet that can cause you to leave running if you do complete the 5K, it can cause you to leave running, or it can interrupt your program. Another thing is make sure, of course, you're staying hydrated. Either you're running inside or outside, doesn't even matter if you're in an air-conditioned environment. Air conditioner is a dehumidifier. If you're running outside, you're sweating, you're getting rid of water, you need that water for many reasons. One thing, energy. Oh, you're getting me on the subject of water. You know how I am. You need it for hydration. You need it for thinking. You need it for your energy level. You need it for everything. Definitely cut cravings, the whole 9 yards. And big time for the repair process of the muscle. So definitely staying hydrated. And some sort of a timing device, definitely some sort of a tracker, because that way you can gauge. One thing, you'll need a timing device if you're doing this minute on, minute off program, or minute on, 30-second off program. You're going to need some sort of a timer, obviously, for that, but also tracking it. One of the best things I can recommend to you in tracking, of course, is our app, Pledge. Pledge is open to members and non-members alike, and it's a way we can help you design and build your program and help you track and actually coach you through the program. There's also quite a bit of motivation and accountability goes through it on a daily basis. So check out Pledge. Check out our website, personalizedfitness.com. Contact us that way if you have any questions about possibly getting involved with Pledge. There's some race day tips I have for you too. Now, I've been racing for, I've been racing for years, ever since I was a kid. But as far as multisport racing and racing for Team USA, I did my first World Championships in 2011. So therefore, my first Nationals was in 2010. It's something I always do. Whenever I travel and go to the World Championships, I arrive there a few days early because I want to actually drive or walk or run the course before I race on it. It is amazing what that does for you. One thing in planning, you may not know of a hill that you're going to need to take or bad pavement or something like that. And understanding, if you're on a 5K and you have to manage your own turns, the course might not be well marked. You need to know the course that way. But the biggest part of it is the mental side of it. That course is going to seem daunting to you. Your running course at home, you're used to it. No big deal. It's real easy. And by the way, you run your course, if you run a course point to point, run the course backwards one day. It'll really throw you. It has a completely different feel, appearance, mindset, everything if you run it backwards. But what you want to do is you want to break that course down and you walk it or run it so that you get your, quote unquote, get your head around it. I remember racing in Burlington, Vermont. And my brother and I raced there, and I saw the course, but I didn't get to actually run or walk the course prior to the race. And the very beginning of the run, it was a sprint triathlon we were doing, did great in the swim, did great in the bike, and we got to the run. The first part of the run was an incredibly steep hill. I saw the hill, but I never tried to experience it. Wow. I got to the top of that, and I did something that my coaches, Gary Zakutny was coaching my running at the time, and he told me, don't ever do. And he said, you top a hill, whatever you do, don't stop at the top of the hill. You get top of a hill and you level out or you go downhill on the other side, no matter what, your heart rate has to come down. It will come down. It'll peak at the top, but you really want to make it shoot up? Stop. Stop for a minute. Walk for a minute. because that'll make it really shoot up. It's better to top the hill and keep at least a jogging pace, because eventually your heart rate would go down. After I had run it, I ran that race, and the next year we were competing there again, and I realized I'd run the race before, and my brother and I went and walked it because I wanted to show him. I said, look, once you get on this top of this hill, there's a steady decline on the other side. This is heart rate recovery. And then we found at the end of the course, we actually looked at it backwards and found out it was a decline. It was minimal, but it was a decline. Once we knew that in our heads, it completely changed the course for us. It made it much easier. And I dropped at least 3 minutes on that 5K at the end of that race. I dropped 18 minutes total in the race. 3 minutes were on the run, and strictly because I had gotten my head around the run. So you want to get there. If you're going to a 5K, if you're traveling to it or whatever, try to get there at least 30 minutes or 40 minutes before and drive the course. If it's in your hometown, go check it out, go drive it, go train on it. You're talking about a world of difference. Train on the course. It'll make a huge difference. Check out water stations. If you're used to your hydration, hopefully you are, but check out water stations along the way and find out whether or not you actually need to carry some hydration on you. And always look at the weather. Always look at the weather ahead of time. Therefore, you know whether or not the first thing they're going to have the race. But the second thing is also to dress for it. It's a great idea to not only dress for it, but on the last tip I have for you is keep a log. Keep a log, and what I'm talking about, every day you're going to write down how you felt after each training session. Another thing you want to include on there is, what did you wear? You may be taking 10 weeks, and you may see a season change. Like if you started in January training for the Azalea Trail Run, which is in March, well, you're going to go through days with that's 20 degrees. And then March, it can be a lot of things. It can be really cold. It can be rainy that day. It can be warm. It can be a lot of things. But between January and March, you're going to have worn a whole different bevy of outfits as far as your running is concerned. So it's best to keep a log. And so you write down the temperature of the day. You write down your time, how you felt, what you were wearing. And so when you find out, you look at the weather and find out it's going to be 40 degrees on March 23rd and with a slight light, mist in the air, we can go back and look in your journal. What did I wear that day? How did I feel? And you can actually dress for it. It also gives you more control of the entire program. You'll feel more in control. If you take these steps, you'll feel far more in control. Now, given that minute on that run walk program, again, that's very general. That's extremely general and seems overly simplistic. It really is not that difficult. But I can't encourage you enough. If you're interested in doing this, you need a detailed program. You need a program that works for you, for your head, for your lifestyle, for the type of training style you like, for the actual goals you have. And if we can help you with that, please contact us at area code 251-278-3343. That's 251-278-EDGE. You can also reach me, Garrett, Garrett, at personaledgefitness.com. That's our website. Personal Edge Fitness is our Facebook page. Hit me up on X at Team PE if you are so inclined. The Couch to 5K, great way to kick off a fitness program. Great way to get into running. And having us design that for you, well, that's just one more way we help you reach your level of wellness. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for listening to the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast with Garrett Williamson. Subscribe now and be a part of the show by calling 251-278-EDGE or message us on Facebook and Instagram at Personal Edge Fitness or at Team PE on Twitter, and visit us at personaledgefitness.com.